Have you ever felt your heart racing, your chest tightening, and your thoughts spiraling out of control? What if I told you you could interrupt that cycle and reset your mind in as little as 30 seconds? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to do it. And number 3 is so powerful, it feels like hitting a mental reset button. Anxiety isn't just in your head. It's in your body, your breathing, even the way you hold yourself. And here's the crazy part. Most of us try to think our way out of it, but that actually makes it worse. The truth is, you need to trick your brain into believing you're safe, even when your thoughts are screaming otherwise. Today, I'm giving you my 3 fastest, science-backed, anxiety-calming hacks. You can use them anywhere. At work, in public, or even when you wake up at 2 a.m. with your heart pounding. The first one works in silence. Nobody will even know you're doing it. The second one flips the anxiety switch in your nervous system instantly. And the third one? It's so effective that even Navy SEALs use a version of it in high-stress combat situations. But here's the thing. They only work if you do them right. Most people get this wrong, and I'll show you exactly what to avoid so you don't waste time. And listen, don't just watch this and think, oh, that's cool. You have to try these as you watch, because your brain will start building that safety pattern instantly. If you've ever wished you could stop an anxiety attack in its tracks, this is the closest you'll get to an off switch. So take a deep breath, and let's start with the first technique. It takes less than 30 seconds, and you can literally do it right now as you're watching this video. I learned these tricks the hard way, through moments where I couldn't even speak in meetings, where I'd cancel plans at the last second because the anxiety was unbearable. But once I discovered these fast-acting techniques, everything changed. Before we go further, comment where you are watching from. Step 1. Understanding the instant triggers of anxiety. Why anxiety hits faster than you think. Anxiety doesn't politely knock on your door and wait for you to invite it in. It bursts in, unannounced, catching you off guard in the middle of a meeting, while you're lying in bed, or even in the middle of what's supposed to be a happy moment. It's sneaky like that. 1 second you're fine, the next, your heart is pounding, your chest feels tight, and your thoughts are racing faster than you can keep up. The truth is, anxiety hits faster than most people realize, because it rarely starts with the big dramatic moments we think of. It's usually a slow drip, little thoughts, tiny stressors, and small worries stacking up in the background until they suddenly feel like a tidal wave. It might be something as simple as a text you haven't replied to, a bill you've been avoiding, or a conversation you know you need to have but keep pushing away. Your brain keeps those on a mental to-do list, and every time you don't check them off, a little tension builds. You don't feel it at first. You think you're managing, but your nervous system is taking notes. Then, the wrong comment from someone, a sudden change in plans, or even just a memory that pops up out of nowhere becomes the spark that lights the fire. Suddenly, you're in full fight-or-flight mode, and you're wondering, where did this come from? Anxiety moves fast because your brain is wired to protect you. When it senses a threat, real or imagined, it doesn't wait for you to weigh the pros and cons. It flips the switch instantly, flooding you with adrenaline and cortisol so you can act now, think later. That's great if you're being chased by a tiger, but when the tiger is an unpaid bill or a looming deadline, that same reaction feels overwhelming and exhausting. What makes it trickier is that anxiety feeds on itself. The moment it shows up, we often start fearing the anxiety itself. What if this gets worse? What if I panic in public? What if I can't calm down? Those thoughts are like throwing gasoline on a fire, and before you know it, you've gone from a spark to a full blaze in minutes. But here's the part most people miss. Because anxiety moves so quickly, the key is learning to catch it in its quiet phase before it snowballs. That's why small daily habits, like checking in with your emotions, slowing your breathing, and dealing with little stressors before they pile up, are game changers. It's not about never feeling anxious. That's impossible. It's about building enough awareness and control so that when it comes, you don't get swept away. And here's something worth sitting with. The speed of anxiety isn't a sign that you're broken or weak. It's proof that your brain is powerful and responsive. That same speed can work in your favor when you train it to respond to calm, safety, and trust instead of panic. Imagine being able to flip that switch just as quickly. That's where things get life-changing. Next, we dive into how tiny daily irritations pile up into overwhelm. I assure you, you won't want to miss it. How tiny daily irritations pile up into overwhelm. It usually doesn't start with a big, life-shattering moment. It begins with the little things. The coffee you spill on your shirt right before leaving for work, the email you forget to reply to, the traffic that makes you late, the shoes someone leaves in the middle of the hallway that you trip over. At first, you shrug them off. It's fine, you tell yourself, but they keep coming, one after another, like raindrops slowly soaking you until you're drenched without even realizing it. Tiny daily irritations are sneaky like that. They don't look dangerous at first, so we underestimate their power. But think about it. If someone tapped your shoulder once, you'd barely notice. If they did it every 30 seconds for an entire day, you'd want to scream. That's how it works in life too. The little frustrations. Waiting in line, your phone battery dying at the worst time, someone interrupting you mid-thought, start to accumulate like clutter in a closet. And just like that messy closet, one day it bursts open, and everything tumbles out in a chaotic heap, leaving you wondering, why am I so stressed? The truth is, overwhelm doesn't come from nowhere. It's the product of these micro moments stacking up quietly in the background. And because they're so small, we often don't give ourselves permission to address them. We brush them off because it's not a big deal, but the weight of 50 not a big deals is still heavy enough to knock you off balance. The key is noticing when the pile is building before it topples over. It's about pausing midday to release the tension, clearing the mental clutter, and not letting those tiny irritations hitch a ride in your mind all day. Because the truth is, small stressors don't just disappear, they multiply when ignored, and the sooner you spot them, the sooner you can stop them from turning into a tidal wave. If you think about it, overwhelm is rarely about one big thing. It's almost always the sum of the small things we didn't deal with. And once you realize that, you start paying attention to the little moments, because they're not so little after all. Moving on, we are going into recognizing physical anxiety cues in seconds. Believe you me, you need it. Recognizing physical anxiety cues in seconds. It's strange how your body often knows you're anxious before your mind catches up. One moment you're sitting at your desk or making dinner, and everything feels fine on the surface. Then, out of nowhere, your chest feels tight, your shoulders tense, and your heart picks up a rhythm you didn't ask for. Maybe your stomach feels like it's holding a knot, or your breathing shifts without you even realizing it. It's subtle at first, so easy to dismiss. Just a little discomfort, maybe from the coffee or not enough sleep. But deep down, your body is sending you the first red flags, and if you're not tuned in, they multiply fast. The tricky part is, physical anxiety cues don't always come with a big flashing sign that says, you're anxious. They can look like restlessness, random sweating, sudden fatigue, or even the urge to fidget endlessly. And here's the thing. These signals are often whispering long before anxiety starts shouting. If you can spot them in those first few seconds, you have a chance to step in and calm your body before your mind starts spiraling. Think of it like noticing a pot of water right before it boils. Once it bubbles over, you can't undo the mess, but if you catch it when it's just warm, you can lower the heat. The same goes for your body. That tight jaw, the way your hands keep tapping, the shallow breath, those aren't random quirks. They're your body waving a quiet little flag saying, something's off. The real magic happens when you start recognizing these cues in real time. Because in that moment, you can pause, breathe deeper, unclench your hands, roll your shoulders, and signal back to your body, we're safe. It's okay. And often, that small intervention is all it takes to stop anxiety from building into a storm. Once you learn to listen to your body this way, you stop feeling blindsided by anxiety because you're catching it before it even has the chance to take over. And that's when you start feeling like you're in control again, instead of at the mercy of a feeling you didn't see coming. Next, we go into the science behind calming yourself fast. Stick with me, because you can't afford to miss it. The science behind calming yourself fast. When your heart is racing, your chest feels tight, and your mind is spiraling in 100 directions, it can feel like you're trapped in a storm you didn't see coming. You want to be calm, but telling yourself to just relax works about as well as telling a toddler to sit still during a sugar rush. The truth is, calming yourself quickly isn't about sheer willpower. It's about understanding what's actually happening inside your body and working with it, not against it. Here's the thing, your body is wired for survival. When it senses a threat, whether that's a real danger or just a stressful email, it flips the switch on your sympathetic nervous system, also known as fight or flight mode. Your heart beats faster to pump more blood to your muscles, your breathing speeds up to get more oxygen, and your brain sharpens its focus on whatever it thinks is the threat. It's a brilliant system when you're running from a lion, but not so great when you're just trying to make it through a Monday morning meeting. The science of calming yourself fast is about tapping into your body's brake pedal, the parasympathetic nervous system. This is your rest and digest mode, the part that slows your heart rate, relaxes your muscles, and tells your brain, we're safe. You can stand down now. And here's the magic. You can trigger that shift in minutes, sometimes even seconds, if you know the right signals to send. For example, slow, deep breathing isn't just some wellness cliché. It's a physical signal to your brain that the danger has passed. When you exhale slowly and fully, you're literally activating the vagus nerve, which flips the switch toward calm. The same goes for grounding techniques, like pressing your feet into the floor, feeling the texture of something in your hands, or noticing the smallest details in your surroundings. These actions pull your mind out of panic mode and anchor it in the present. Even simple posture changes can be powerful. When you unclench your jaw, drop your shoulders, and open your chest, you're not just looking more relaxed. You're sending your nervous system a clear message that there's no need for high alert. Pair that with a gentle mental cue, like, I'm safe right now, or this moment will pass, and you create a double-layered effect. Your body and mind start to sink back into balance. The real beauty of this science is that it puts the control back in your hands. You don't have to wait for anxiety to wear off or for the situation to change. You can intervene in the moment, using your own biology to steer yourself from chaos to calm. And the more you practice these techniques when things are mildly stressful, the easier it becomes to use them when the pressure is sky high. Calm isn't just a mood, it's a skill. And once you understand how your body works, you realize it's not about waiting for peace to come to you. You can create it fast. Next step, we dive into the 30-second calming toolkit. But now, do you know the science behind calming yourself fast? Leave your comment. Stay tuned. Step 2. The 30-second calming toolkit. The Navy SEAL method for instant calm. When your heart is pounding so hard you can hear it in your ears, when your hands feel clammy and your mind is running faster than you can catch a single thought, calm can feel impossible. But imagine this. Elite Navy SEALs, in the middle of chaos, bullets flying, adrenaline pumping, still manage to think clearly, make sharp decisions, and keep steady hands. They're not born with some magical calm gene. They train their bodies and minds to flip a switch in seconds. And the method they use? You can do it too, right where you are, no battlefield required. It's called box breathing, and it's deceptively simple. 4 seconds in, hold for 4, 4 seconds out, hold for 4, repeat. That's it. But here's where the magic happens. By focusing completely on this rhythm, you're literally telling your nervous system, stand down, we're safe. Your brain listens, your heart slows, your muscles loosen, and the storm inside you starts to fade. The beauty? It works whether you're facing an actual emergency or just trying to survive a tense meeting. a tough conversation, or the kind of traffic jam that makes you question all your life choices. Most people overlook this because it sounds too easy, but that's the secret. Your body craves something familiar and steady when it's in fight or flight mode, and by giving it that rhythm, you take back control. The best part? You don't need a quiet room, meditation music, or a yoga mat. You can be sitting at your desk, in your car, or even standing in a grocery store aisle, and no one will have a clue you're doing it. It's the kind of power that, once you feel it work, you can't help but use it again and again. Not because you'll never face stress again, but because now you'll know exactly how to meet it. Calm, steady, unshakable. And the next time life throws chaos your way, you might just smile a little, knowing you've got the same tool the Navy SEALs trust with their lives. Next, we talk about the grounding exercise that pulls you back to reality. Stay around. The grounding exercise that pulls you back to reality. Sometimes your mind just takes off, racing into the past, spinning into the future, and completely forgetting that your body is still right here in this exact moment. It can feel like you're floating away from reality, watching yourself from the outside, disconnected and overwhelmed. That's where grounding comes in. Not some fancy self-help buzzword, but a lifeline you can grab when you feel like you're slipping. The beauty of this exercise is how simple it is. No equipment, no perfect setting. You can do it in your kitchen, in a meeting, even sitting in your car while the world feels like too much. It works because it drags you out of the chaos in your head and anchors you to the solid, undeniable truth of the present moment. Imagine this. You pause, take a slow breath, and start noticing, really noticing, what's around you, the color of the walls, the way the fabric of your shirt feels against your skin, the faint hum of a fan in the background. You look for 5 things you can see, 4 you can touch, 3 you can hear, 2 you can smell, and 1 you can taste. At first, it might feel mechanical, like you're just ticking boxes, but then something shifts. Your brain, which was firing off alarms a moment ago, starts to quiet down. Your shoulders drop, your breathing evens out, you're here again, present, grounded, and back in control. The magic isn't in the counting, it's in the noticing. The act of paying attention interrupts the spiral. It reminds you that even if your mind is screaming about everything going wrong, your body is standing in a perfectly safe, very real, very tangible place. And that's powerful, because when you can come back to this moment, you can handle it. One moment at a time, one breath at a time. That's how you pull yourself back. That's how you remember you're still here. Next is the body hack that melts stress in under a minute. Stay tuned. The body hack that melts stress in under a minute. You know that tight, buzzing feeling you get when stress hits? Your chest feels heavy. Your jaw is clenched. Your shoulders are practically touching your ears, and it's like your whole body is bracing for impact. Most of us try to push through it, telling ourselves to just calm down. But here's the truth. Your body isn't listening to words in that moment. It's wired for survival, not logic. That's why this little body hack works so fast. It speaks the language your nervous system actually understands. All you need is your breath. Not the shallow, quick gasps you take when you're stressed, but deep, intentional breathing that tells your brain, we're safe now. The trick is to breathe in through your nose for a count of 4, hold it gently for a count of 7, and then exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 8, like you're letting the air melt out of you. On that long exhale, something almost magical happens. Your heart rate starts to slow, the tension in your muscles eases, and your mind begins to unclench. You can literally feel the wave of calm washing over you, like someone just turned down the volume on all your worries. It's not just a relaxation technique. It's a reset button. When you do this, even just once, you're flipping a switch in your body from fight or flight into rest and repair. You're showing your brain proof that it can stand down. And the best part? You can do it anywhere. Before a big meeting, sitting in traffic, lying in bed when your thoughts won't shut off. 1 minute. One breath pattern. And suddenly, the storm inside you isn't so loud anymore. Next, let's dive into a surprising move that stops anxiety in its tracks. Stay tuned. The surprising move that stops anxiety in its tracks. Anxiety has this sneaky way of hijacking your mind before you even realize what's happening. One moment you're fine, and the next, your thoughts are racing. Your stomach feels like it's been twisted into knots, and your chest tightens like someone's slowly turning a crank. You start thinking of every what-if possible, and it's like your brain is a runaway train with no brakes. Most people try to fight it in their heads, telling themselves to just stop worrying. But here's the surprising thing. The fastest way to shut anxiety down isn't in your mind at all. It's in your body. This move is so simple. You might laugh at first, but then you'll feel it working. When you feel that anxious surge coming on, stand up. Literally stand, and plant your feet firmly on the ground. Press your toes down as if you're gripping the earth. Then, roll your shoulders back, open your chest, and take one deep, steady breath in through your nose, and let it out slowly through your mouth. As you do this, notice how your body shifts from being curled in and tense to standing open and grounded. That tiny physical change sends a powerful message to your brain. We're not in danger. See, anxiety thrives when your body is in a defensive posture, hunched, closed, small. But the moment you take up space, the moment you claim your ground, you're telling your nervous system to stand down. Your brain listens, your breathing slows, and suddenly, the storm that felt unstoppable just moments ago begins to dissolve. It's almost unfair how well it works. And the best part? No one even has to know you're doing it. Whether you're in the middle of a crowded room, standing in your kitchen, or hiding out in the bathroom for a moment of peace, this move is your secret weapon. In the next step, we dive into making calm your new default. But now, can you tell the exact exercise that pulls you back to reality? Say that in the comment. The most crucial step, you won't want to miss it. Step 3. Making calm your new default. Building calm into your day in small doses. You know how most people treat calm like it's a vacation spot? Something you only get to visit once in a while, on a weekend away, or when life finally slows down. But here's the thing. Life rarely slows down on its own. If anything, it keeps adding more noise, more deadlines, more little fires to put out. And that's why waiting for the perfect moment to feel calm is like waiting for your inbox to be empty. It's never going to happen. The real secret is this. You don't wait for calm, you build it. And you do it in tiny, almost invisible doses that slip right into your day without you having to rearrange your entire life. It's the 30 seconds you spend closing your eyes while your coffee brews, feeling the warmth of the mug in your hands before you take that first sip. It's the one deep breath you take while sitting in traffic, instead of letting your mind race ahead to everything you have to do when you get home. It's stepping outside for just a minute, looking at the sky, and remembering there's a whole world moving peacefully beyond your to-do list. These little pauses aren't fluff or wasted time. They're deposits into your calm bank account. The more you make them, the more balance you have to draw on when life tries to throw you off. And here's the beautiful twist. Once you start looking for them, these small moments of calm are everywhere. They become less of a luxury and more of a habit, something your day naturally flows around. You begin to notice that you're less snappy when someone cuts you off in conversation, less panicked when plans change, less drained at the end of the day. Because you didn't wait for peace to magically arrive. You planted it, watered it, and let it grow in the cracks of your everyday life. And that quiet strength? It changes everything. Next is the power phrase that keeps anxiety from spiraling. Stay with me. The power phrase that keeps anxiety from spiraling. You know that moment when your thoughts start running faster than you can catch them? It usually starts small. Maybe you remember a text you forgot to reply to, or you think about that awkward thing you said last week, and before you know it, you're building entire disaster scenarios in your head. Your heart speeds up, your shoulders tighten, and suddenly you're not even in the present moment anymore. You're stuck in what-if land, and it feels like quicksand. Here's the thing, once anxiety picks up speed, it can be hard to slow it down. But I learned something that changed the game for me. A simple, almost sneaky little phrase that acts like an anchor in the middle of that mental storm. It's short, it's easy to remember, and when you say it, it's like throwing a rope around your runaway thoughts and gently pulling them back in. The phrase is, "Right now, I'm okay." It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But that's the magic of it. Because anxiety lives in the future. It feeds on everything that might happen. This phrase forces you to step out of the what-ifs and land right in the what-is. And in this exact second, right now, you're breathing, you're safe. The thing you're worried about hasn't actually happened. When you say, "Right now, I'm okay," you remind your brain that it doesn't have to solve every problem at once. It can rest. I remember using it one night when I couldn't sleep. My mind was inventing every possible way the next day could go wrong. I whispered it to myself over and over. "Right now, I'm okay." And slowly, my chest loosened. My thoughts softened. I realized that the moment I was in wasn't dangerous at all. It was just my mind trying to predict a future it couldn't control. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about giving yourself permission to be safe in this moment, even if tomorrow feels uncertain. Because the truth is, calm isn't something you have to chase. It's something you can claim right here with just a few words. And sometimes, those words are all it takes to stop anxiety from spiraling before it pulls you under. Next, we talk about simple habits to stay centered. You need it. Stay tuned. Simple habits to stay centered. Sometimes, staying centered isn't about doing something huge or dramatic. It's about the small, almost invisible choices you make every single day. The little things that keep you grounded, even when life feels like it's trying to sweep you away. Imagine you're standing in the middle of a rushing crowd, but instead of feeling pulled in every direction, there's this invisible thread holding you steady, reminding you who you are and where you're going. That's what simple, centering habits do for you. It could be as small as taking a slow sip of tea before you open your laptop, or stepping outside for a 2-minute stretch and breathing in the morning air before the noise of the day begins. These moments might feel tiny, but they're like planting anchors into your day. They keep you from floating off into stress and chaos. What's magical is that you don't need an hour of meditation or a weekend retreat to feel this effect. Just little pauses, tiny intentional actions that tell your mind, "Hey, we're safe, we're in control, we've got this." It could be writing down one thing you're grateful for while your coffee brews, or setting your phone down and looking out the window instead of scrolling. It could be a song you play in the car that instantly brings you back to yourself. The best part? These habits start to stack up without you even realizing it. They become second nature, like breathing. And one day, when a storm hits, a stressful meeting, bad news, a sudden change, you'll notice something different. You won't be as shaken. You'll feel this quiet strength holding you together. And you'll realize that all those tiny moments you thought didn't matter, they were training you for exactly this. Because staying centered isn't about avoiding chaos. It's about being so rooted in yourself that the chaos can swirl around you, but never through you. And once you taste that kind of calm, you'll never want to go back. Training your brain to react differently to stress. You know that moment when something stressful happens, an unexpected bill, a sharp comment from someone, a sudden change of plans, and before you even realize it, your chest tightens, your heart races, and your mind starts running 100 miles an hour? It feels automatic, like your brain has already decided how to react before you've had a chance to think. That's because, in a way, it has. Your brain has been trained over the years to respond to stress in the same old patterns. But here's the exciting part. You can retrain it. Think of your brain like a well-worn hiking trail. Every time you react to stress in the same way, panic, overthink, lash out, shut down, you're walking that same path again. Over time, it becomes smooth, familiar, and automatic. But you can start building a brand new trail, one that takes you somewhere calmer, steadier, and more in control. At first, it feels awkward and unnatural, like walking through tall grass with no clear path. But the more you practice, the more that new trail becomes your go-to. It starts with catching yourself in that split second before your reaction kicks in. That tiny pause is powerful. It's the doorway to change. Imagine it like someone handing you the remote control to your emotions. Instead of letting stress hit volume up on your anxiety, you get to press mute, take a breath, and choose how you want to respond. Maybe it's reminding yourself, this moment isn't forever. Maybe it's stepping away for 60 seconds and focusing on the feel of your feet on the ground. Maybe it's picturing the situation as a puzzle instead of a threat, something you can figure out piece by piece. The brain is incredible. It learns through repetition. Every time you choose a calmer, kinder, more grounded reaction, you're literally rewiring your neural pathways. You're teaching your brain that stress doesn't have to equal panic, and over time, your default response starts to shift. What used to send you spiraling might one day barely ruffle you. And here's the beautiful part. You won't just notice it in the big, dramatic moments of life. You'll feel it in the tiny ones, too. The traffic jam that would have ruined your morning? You hum along to your favorite song instead. The snappy email from a coworker? You breathe, smile, and answer when you're ready. It's like becoming the calm in your own storm, no matter what's swirling around you. The more you practice, the more you realize stress isn't the enemy. It's the trigger for you to show yourself just how strong and steady you've become. So there you have it, 3 incredibly simple yet powerful techniques that can help you calm anxiety in as little as 30 seconds. You now know how a deep grounding breath can instantly bring your mind back to the present, how a quick sensory reset can snap your brain out of overdrive, and of course, that magical third step, the one that feels like hitting a mental reset button to break the cycle of anxious thoughts. But here's the thing, learning these tools is only half the battle. The real transformation happens when you actually use them in your daily life. Anxiety doesn't wait for the perfect moment to strike. It can show up in your car before a meeting, while you're waiting in line at the grocery store, or even when you're lying in bed trying to sleep. That's why practicing these quick resets now means you'll be ready when you need them most. And remember, you don't have to wait for anxiety to get overwhelming before trying them. The more you use these techniques, the more your brain learns to switch from panic mode to calm mode, faster and easier. Think of it like building a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. If just one of these tips made you feel a little lighter, a little more in control, or gave you that "I can handle this" feeling, imagine what could happen if you made them part of your everyday routine. You might just find that the anxious moments that used to knock you down now barely shake you. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 3 tips are you most excited to try first? Or, if you've already tried them, which one gave you the fastest relief? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your experience could be exactly what someone else needs to read today. If you found this video helpful, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button so YouTube knows to share it with others who might need it. Make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because I've got more quick, science-backed mental wellness tips coming your way. And if you know someone who's been feeling anxious lately, share this video with them. You never know, it might be the exact reset button they need right now. Take care, breathe deep, and I'll see you in the next video.